Hi, I'm Ellie Gillard from Ellie Gillard Photography, and this is the third tutorial in the series about how to use your Pic Time gallery. In this tutorial I'm going to talk in a little bit more detail about how to make a magazine style album. What is a magazine style album, I hear you ask? So they are a great alternative to my more expensive bound albums. They are, as the name suggests, magazine style. Let me show you some pictures. So we go to shop, and then when we have all the options presented to us, we can go to magazines. So it says a light and fresh saddle stitched magazine style paper. They are 8.5 by 8.5 square, and they are printed on matte paper with a soft back image wrap cover and satin laminated finish. They come in packs of 2 and are available with a minimum of 16 pages, so that's 8 spreads, and a maximum of 60 pages, 30 spreads. So they're a great alternative, as I said, to my more traditional and more expensive albums. They are a wonderful way to showcase images to give to parents or to give to friends or members of the bridal party, or even if you do want kind of a more low-key album. I really like them. So as soon as you click into magazines, it will say we've designed an album for you. So thank you very much, Pic Time. That makes things really easy. So if you want to, let's go to view album. So you kind of get an idea. So we've got a cover, and that's got 2017 and best of. So that's because when I created the gallery, I just wanted to call it best of 2017. So if this was your gallery, it would say the name of person A and then the name of person B and then the wedding date. So you could customise what you wanted to say. But it's a nice, clean, minimal, lovely cover, which is really modern, I think, and works really well. And then we can just have a look at all the other spreads. So we've got the opening spread, and then as we go through, so this has just picked them from the gallery. So this is in no particular order, but it's put black and white ones together because it's intelligent like that, and it's gone for similar tones on a page. Because this is the best of 2017, like basically there is no specific kind of rhyme or reason to it. So the images are for all kinds of things. So, but this is the 16-page, 16 kind of spread album. Here's some more pictures if you're interested. So you can see that it's kind of lovely, lightweight, just a little kind of clean, modern brochure thing. There you go. You can enjoy it with your latte art. Right. So, assuming that you don't want to do this, you can either edit the design as you've got it, or you can start from scratch. So this is why I've kind of gone for a little bit more of a detailed thing. We can go to arrange photos, and this is where we can drag photos between pages, also empty the pages and arrange the photos by yourself. So if I want just to kind of change this or put that on that page and that on that page, then I can do that. So I can make those easy changes. But you don't get direct visibility of how that's going to work. You kind of have to come back and just sort of review and see how that has done that. We can empty pages. So we can just go empty all the pages and arrange them by yourself. So click A and they've all gone. And then what we do is we have the option to start from scratch. So add text, best of 2017 Gillard. So let's call it, so we've got the date there because we've got the wedding date, 2017 and best of. Let's go, let's name it after Ellie and Joss, that's my husband. And then let's put London as the location. For some reason it just says and Ellie. Let's put Joss there. Still don't know what it says on the cover. Joss and Ellie, there we go, and the date. So the location hasn't printed, but you have different cover options. So again, we can choose to have a nice floral. We can choose to have just a box. We can choose to have a little diagram, little kind of graphic. Mr. and Mrs. You can't customise that to make it Mrs. and Mrs. or Mr. and Mr. So you might be best picking one of the other options if that is your circumstance. But we've got lots of other options and we can just add whatever cover we want to it. So it's really customisable. I really like this one. And then I've got the option to add a photo. Oh, where's it gone? Where's the one that I liked? Well, that will do. That's kind of similar. Mr. and Mrs. Joss. Right. What you probably need to do if you'd see it, it's a new family name. So let's put Gillard there. And then that will show up. Okay, so we ideally want a portrait orientation image here. Let's see if we can find one. There we go. And then as we go through, we can choose the layout of the images. So on this page, we can just add so first page we have to have them. Then we can choose the layout that we want. So we've got all kinds of example layouts here. This is quite a nice one. So if we do this, then we can see we've got, I have to count this up, 9 images here and then 1 here. So for the 9, we just kind of drag in the images that we want. They should populate. There we go. Doing a bit too quickly, I think. 2, 3. Duh. Lovely. And then here it's recommended we use a portrait orientation image, and I just saw one. Let's put that one there. So like this. And then the next page we can go on and on. We can go for the busy layouts with lots of images, which people kind of like because they like to get lots of images on the page. But I also recommend possibly going for some that are a bit cleaner as well. Where has that gone? There we go. This is the one that we chose. Previous. Yeah. So it's given us a slightly different set of images that we can choose from this time. So we can go through those and pick one. If we click on this, then we can see every single layout that we can use. So we've also got some really nice minimal ones as well. So we can choose just to have one image on a page, which can be really nice and really effective. Or if we click here, we can have, for instance, one image that encompasses both sides of the pages. So you can use the same kind of layouts that I like to use when I'm actually designing proper albums. So you can really kind of customize this and make it easy and lovely for you. Let's have 2 together. Have this one and this one. Sorry, these are designed completely with no kind of regard to what they should look like. Let's click here again. And then let's have this combo. So we've got one bigger one and one smaller one. And that's the bigger one, and this is the smaller one. So you can see, you can really build it up. You can have busy spreads, you can have minimal spreads. And as soon as you've added all 16 pages, you get to the end, and then we'll click done, and you can review them. So you can see the images here, and then just go add to cart. One or more frames empty, we're going to ignore that. So we're going to add to cart anyway, because we're pretending that we've done that. So what it will ask you to do then is to preview it and to check that each page is okay. So here we go. So we're approving the cover, the names are right, the date's right, this page is okay. This page is okay, this page is okay. So we're proofing the album to make sure that everything looks the way that it should do. This page is okay. Here we go into the blank ones that I didn't bother designing. We're just going to say this is okay because for this purpose of this exercise. And then it will be added to your cart and you can proceed to checkout. So that, in a nutshell, is how you design your magazine style album. The easiest way to do it, at the moment, because I'm doing it from a test gallery, which has just got my best of 2017 images in it, of which there are about 150. Obviously, if you have a wedding gallery, you're going to have substantially more images. So the best way to kind of start, before you even start designing the magazine, would be to create a list of favourites. So this is where you would go back to your gallery, and you would start creating favourites. So we know that in 16 pages we might want about 40 images. So let's go through and we'll make a set of 40 images. 1, 2, and again we can see here, so we've got likes of 5, so we can see how many that we're adding in at any one time. This one's nice, let's make that favourite. And let's make sure we have a mix of portrait and landscape as well, because that means we can have a variation in the spread design. Okay, and then we've got our hidden photos appear, and then we can just carry on. Let's have that one, and this one's lovely. And there's another portrait orientation one. I think we have this in the original design. And another portrait one. And this one will be great because it's kind of got lots of negative space, so it's great kind of in spread all by itself. And we can see we've got 16. So let's add another portrait, and then this one, and this one, and this one. I love this one, and this one. Oh, there's too many really, isn't there? And then this one's lovely. And this one's lovely again. This has a lot of negative space, so that's the kind of thing that's great as a single image and a double spread. We've got 25, so let's add a few more. I might stop at about 35 because I think that might be enough to populate the pages. Let's have this one. And I think that one's already in there. 30. 4 more to choose. This one's nice. This one's nice. And this one's nice. 34. 1 more. There we go. So you can see when it's added, there's a little heart in the top left hand corner. So let's go back to shop and back to magazines. And it will say we've designed an album for you. So if we go to view album, we should see now that those are actually from the favourites that we've just created and selected. So you can potentially, so if we go to view album, those are all the favourites that we've just added. So if you've got a list of favourites, it knows and it will make that into the magazine for you. So actually that looks great. So if you don't want to do the design, you can literally, with a couple of clicks, have an album ready to design and just go straight through. This one's got a couple of extra spreads, so basically this is made a 30-page magazine, so it's a little bit more expensive. So I would say err on the side of caution with the number of images that you choose. This one is a 15 spread 30 page, so the maximum number is 60 pages and 30 spreads. But if we decide that we want to go to empty pages again, then we can do. And let's just go to edit. And I'm just going to give you an example because I talked about those images with lots of negative space as to what that might look like. So this is the opening page, so we just have to have a single image here. So let's have one that's really lovely, like this. So a beautiful portrait. And then here, so we'll click on this one to give us all the options of the layouts. And let's click here. And I'm going to find the image that I was talking to you about. Here we go. So this is in the favourites. So we can also adjust this. So for instance, as you can see, because the shape of the page is slightly different from the natural crop of the image, we can actually adjust this. So we can just bring this up and click OK. And then we have our double page spread. So as you can see, this kind of image looks amazing as a double page spread. And you might want to incorporate a couple of these kind of throughout the album. In fact, there's nothing to stop you from making an album which is almost entirely these double spreads. So this one's got a slight border. And this image will work quite well in here as well. So again, because we're cropping off the bottom, we can just slide that up if we don't mind losing some of the top of the image. Or we can have another one like this. And put another image with lots of negative space in there. And then ditto. Let's find one that would work here. This is the one of the ones I talked about again. So if we then click to done, go to done, you can start seeing the kind of the layouts as they appear. And there's no reason you can't have an album with just a few images in, so that it looks really beautiful and minimal, with lots of big spreads and really showing off the images. So you really can create anything you like with the images that you've got. Okay, I hope that's been a really good overview of how you create the magazine style albums. I'm really excited to be able to offer them. I think it's a really good way for people to be able to get creative, make their own albums, and have something kind of beautiful and cost effective if they decide not to opt for a main album. If you have any questions about designing this at any point, just let me know. We always have the option to do like a Skype hangout where we can I can talk you through the process and can give you some advice because I'm quite used to kind of designing these. But my advice is just get stuck in and have a play. It's really intuitive and it's really easy to learn, and actually it's quite fun. So see what you can come up with. I'd love to kind of see them. If you do decide to order one and when you get it, take a photo, pop it on Instagram. I'd love to see it. So yeah, happy designing. I hope this series of tutorials has been really useful for you. I'm really excited to offer Pic Time